He's regarded as the greatest footballer of all time, and at his peak was the highest paid athlete in the world. Even after his retirement, Pelé's net worth included millions of dollars in endorsements, including a huge paycheck to tie his shoes. At the time of his passing, age 82, after a short battle with colon cancer. Born Edson Arantes do Nascimento on October 23, 1940 in Três Corações, Minas Gerais, Brazil, he earned the nickname Pelé after mispronouncing Pelé, a goalkeeper who played for Vasco da Gama during his childhood. Growing up, his family was so poor they couldn't afford a football, so Pelé would use a grapefruit or rolled up socks stuffed with newspapers to practice. His father was his first coach, and his first football team was formed with a group of friends from his neighborhood that called themselves the Shoeless Ones. He would rise to become one of the most transformative figures in 20th century sport. Achieving a level of celebrity few athletes come to know, with a hefty net worth to boot. What was Pelé's net worth? At the time of his passing, Pelé's net worth was around $100 million, but most of his money was made after he retired from football. He debuted professionally at age 15 with Santos FC in 1956 and scored in his very first match. The following year, he was the top scorer overall in the entire Brazilian professional league. He was quickly called to play for the Brazilian national team, and at 17, he became the youngest player to play in, as well as win, a FIFA World Cup in 1958. Pelé and the Brazilian team would go on to win again in 1962 and 1970. During the late 60s, competition between sportswear brands Adidas and Puma had become so fierce they actually signed somewhat of a peace treaty, an unspoken deal now known as the Pelé Pact, where both companies agreed not to sponsor him because they figured they would spend so much in a bidding war that the end result would not be worth it. But during the World Cup final in 1970 against Italy, right before the opening whistle, Pelé asked the referee to pause for a moment so he could tie up his sneakers. All eyes were on the greatest footballer of all time and his shoes, Puma shoes. Sources claim that Pelé was paid $120,000 to just tie his shoes and would go on to earn $100,000 for the next 4 years, plus a cut of the sales of Pelé brand sneakers. He scored 643 goals during the 18 years he played for Santos, winning 5 national, 12 regional, and 3 international club championships. Interestingly, Pelé would never play for a major football club like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Milan, despite many offers, and coming out of retirement in 1974, he signed with the New York Cosmos to play the following year. Contrary to modern times, there wasn't much money in football, but Pelé is said to have been paid a significant sum of $2.8 million a year for the 3 years he played with the Cosmos, a total of $8.4 million, or more than $46 million in 2022, which made him the highest paid athlete in the world. His enormous paycheck wasn't popular with everyone, though. An op-ed by the New York Times sports editor at the time argued, "It simply does not seem morally defensible to pay a soccer player, or any other sports figure for that matter, over $4 million. In response to the op-ed, one reader wrote that they should gone further. Neither is anyone from the President of the United States, nor anyone of any business or activity worth that amount, and many are not worth the bloated salaries they are getting. Indeed, this is in line with the football legend's own sentiments. He believed modern sportsmen and women deserved their high salaries, but argued there was a major disparity between some players over others. Football is not a normal profession where you can work until you're 80, he said. The good players, even the best in the world, can play only until 34, 35, maximum 40, but then they have to live. The problem is how the money is spent. Now, with TV and sponsors, some teams and players make a lot, others nothing. His recruitment to New York worked, because for his final game against Santos no less, 75,000 fans squeezed into New York's Giant Stadium. He expanded on this point during an interview with British GQ in 2018, responding to the question whether he agreed on Neymar moving to Paris Saint-Germain. "It is a different life now. I cannot compare with my time when I was playing. What I would say is that right now, there are maybe only 2 or 3 players in the world worth that kind of money," he said. "In my day, there were 2 or 3 players in each team. There was Bobby Moore, Bobby Charlton, Johan Cruyff, Pelé, Eusebio. Now you have one Neymar, one Cristiano Ronaldo, one Messi, and that's it." Times were very different indeed, and Pelé's significant net worth would come after his final retirement in 1977, with notable endorsements from brands like Puma, Volkswagen, Emirates, and Hublot, among others. "When a company approaches me, I think first of all about what message it sends to the kids," he told the Harvard Business Review. I get a lot of proposals to do commercials for cigars, alcohol, beer. Lots of coaches and players do, but I'm never going to endorse those brands because they're not good for young people. In 1992, Pelé was appointed the UNESCO champion for sports for helping disadvantaged children and promoting sports. In 2001, he was accused of being a part of a corruption scandal that stole $700,000 from UNICEF. His marketing company, Pelé Sports and Marketing, borrowed funds for a UNICEF benefit match, which didn't take place, and the money wasn't repaid. Pelé ordered an audit, shut down the company, and sued his partner for embezzling $4 million. Nothing was ever proven. In 2016, with the World Cup to be held in Pelé's home country, Brazil, many brands signed him on as their ambassador. On December 29, 2022, the world would learn of the passing of the greatest footballer, arguably one of the greatest sports stars of all time. Pelé passed away after a short battle with colon cancer after having a tumor removed in 2021. Rest in power, legend. We are left with the fact that Pelé hadn't played the game in decades and was still a household name and earning like one, which truly is a statement to how great he was. Pelé's ability to earn well past his time on the pitch proved that his talent transcended the game. That's all we have for you today. Does Pelé's grand legacy fascinate and inspire you? Let us know below. If you'd like to dive into the shocking secrets behind Kylian Mbappe's claim to fame, check out this video here. Until next time, buddies.